We Kadosh is your mighty name. Your Melkut to come. Your will be done. And earth, Abba Yahweh. And the YHWH. Give us this day our daily lesson. Forgive us our debt, Abba Yahweh. And we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, Abba Yahweh. For yours is the Melkut, the power, and the honor of Yahweh. So be it, Abba Yahweh. May it be fulfilled in the precious mighty name of Yahshua HaMashiach. And your Melechia, or your Malach, feed us the bread, the lesson of life this day, Abba Yahweh. Let it go out to your nation this day, Abba Yahweh. To strengthen, Abba Yahweh. And he feed us, Abba Yahweh, the wisdom, Abba Yahweh, from your bosom, Abba Yahweh. To strengthen your nation, Abba Yahweh. To endure this race unto the end, Abba Yahweh. To not to give up, Abba Yahweh. To not to be discouraged, Abba Yahweh. To not to faint, Abba Yahweh. But to stand in the straight and narrow way, Abba Yahweh. Just a little while longer, Abba Yahweh. In the present mighty name of Yahshua HaMashiach, I pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Excellent is your name, Abba. Therefore, we will praise you. We'll lift up your name on high, for you are worthy to be praised. And we'll come with an offering of Yahweh unto you. Let us get told out unto YisraYah'ale. I give Torah, give Torah to Yahweh. It's my sweet and forever.
All that you have joined us on the SHABBAT, this great and wonderful day of Yah, we may share in the abundance of His riches, blessings to the knowledge of Torah. We may understand the depths, the fullness, the greatness of this book, that if we live by it, we have life. If we reject it, then death shall pursue us all. So YHWH my Ava. For all of His great blessings, I was watching the little child as we were singing. You could see the depths of her enthusiasm and honesty of her emotions. And I watch her as she watches me here. I said to her the other day, because she reminds me, as her counterparts, how whitish and gray and becoming. She reminds me with consistency. And so she looks at me the other morning at breakfast. She did not watch any facial expression. She observed every hair that she could visually comprehend. It was white. And she says to me, "Papi, getting so gray. It is white." And I said to her, "Can I tell you something?" And he said that you're going to get gray. And the look that came over her face, I said, "Your sister, she's going to get gray." I said, "Hadassah is going to get gray." I said, "Chava will get gray." And I said, "Your big sister, she will get gray as well." Now, I may not be around to see all the greatness of them, but you'll look like none. Isn't she gray? I can appreciate all that God does for me. As I watched those yesterday, when I use the term watch, when I observed and I saw people in all kinds of conditions, I will not complain. I'm not going to run like I did when I was 22, 25, or even 55, or either 60. But I can appreciate all that Yah has done. He gives me a sound mind. The soundness of any mind is to recognize one thing: an evil, sadistic, wicked thing. Your self-righteousness is as valuable as dog urine. It's not worth a damn. It has no value. It reminds me of my worthlessness. It makes me appreciate Him, the greatest of sins. I cannot acknowledge Him. My wrong. We're wrong. So I want to teach today. There are you that are sitting with anticipation because you make mention of revelation. People tend to want to hear. Many times they have no ability to understand, to perceive, nor interpret. You must always go back to the first 5 books. Because the Nobi'im, the prophets, they fulfill what was written by the pattern. In the wisdom of Menelech, Hanok, and Moshe, we see the Shalishim and the prophets. They began to bring understanding, revelation, or the uncovering of those things that our minds and our hearts cannot uncover. Because there's something that is devastating that lies at the door of our hearts. Is sin. Evil. You don't even know how evil you are. You arrogant, prideful, devil. I don't care who you are. I'm talking to you, to your husband, man, your children, your grandmammy, your grandpappy. It makes me no difference. There's one thing about me, I discern all things. You don't get by. I want to teach. I want to teach from wisdom. You, my friends that are listening, you that are here just to find some error, I want you to find it. Because I will preach from the book. I don't interpret scripture. I allow the book to show me. There is no one that you're going to meet in your community that's going to tell you who the 7 kings are. Let me begin here in Revelation. I simply want to read the first 5 words. You notice the numerics of that first 5. This is part 1 of how many other parts of this teaching, but I want to emphasize the first 5. The first 5 words. And there are 5 words in the beginning of Revelation, Giliana, chapter 17 and verse 10. Just the first 5. Just the first 5. Why the first 5? You will get no understanding of this unless you draw from the writings of the first 5, or those books that were recorded before even YHWH and the messengers of our time was even created. Birth out of the bosom of the Iman. And so 5 is the number of Torah. 5. The first 5. And the revelation must come from the book. There is no voice but that of a demonic power that speaks to you lies. It is not of Yah. Period. Just the first 5 words. Revelation chapter 17 verse 10. And there's a position. There are He used the word SHABBAT. There are seven. Seven Basilios. There are 7 kings. And we'll stop there for part 1. Those that are rulers, captains, Basilios. They are those that are leaders of a people, There is no one that leads you like you. Your own damnable depravity of sin, your arrogance of your corruption, your pride. But I'm going to identify the 7 kings. There are those that speculate. Not only will I identify them, but I will identify them by name. That's a bold statement, isn't it?
Yes. Hallelujah.
I don't lay around like many of us, pretending that I'm spiritual, righteous. I have nothing to draw from but the well of his Sadiq. What is written in the book. I don't draw from a presumptuous ignorance of my sinful ways, as though that a melach was sent to talk to me. There's never been one sent to me. But the melach that guards this, he guards it with great assurance that nothing foul that would defile it penetrate into my bosom. I become one as many trying to override. He talks about 7 kings, captains, rulers of people. I said to us in the dining hall the other day, and we will deal with the Basilios and the Melech and the Milcha and the Melach, the all king rulers. And upon the face of the earth, there are nations that have what we call a monarch of a government. And the word Basilios or Melech, it implies that it is male and female. It's just not a man. Queen Elizabeth of Britain, she's a woman. Only 10 nations. So you can't draw from that have what we call a monarch. There are 7 little islands on jurisdictions that you call the United Arab Emirates. They have a king. So there is no power that can be drawn from countries of that like Switzerland, Britain, that's going to introduce something that is so profound and powerful that there is a military power that it destroys the most powerful weaponry. I will prove all things from the book. So there are those that in the speculation they will tell you who the 7 kings are. I will name them. That's a bold move. And a king rules within the depths whereby the power that she judicates that no one, nothing, no one destroys it. I want to ask you few that are here and you few that are listening. I want to ask you one question. This has to be a biological, physical man or woman. Don't answer me. Yes, no. It's one of the two. Can they be both? It is one of the two. Yes, she is. No, he is not. Yah speaks also in metaphors of reality. What is real? I want to show you the example, first of all, of this first one. She's a queen. I want you to hear me, nation. I will give you the verse when I finish, I promise you, yes, because I want you to hear. Yeah. This is the prophet Jeremiah. He's speaking to us in this hour. He is speaking to the nation because of the persistence of their idolatry, their sin, their corruption, their ways, their actions, their activities. These are the words that he utters out of his loins. The prophet says, Yah speaks to him, tell them, don't you see, your eye open, what they do, asa. You don't see what this people is doing? We are some ignorant people because we think that no one sees what we're doing. Because you're crazy. Don't you see what they're doing, prophet? In the city of Yehudah, in the place that I have poured my riches upon, the blessings from Abraham, don't you understand what they're doing in the streets of Yerushalayim, in the city of the birth of my nation, my people? He says the children, the babe, mine and the little ones, they gather up words. And before those dear thoughts, they kindle, they make fire. For what reason? And the daughters of Zion, they need their dough. There's a comment here. There's a statement that sits everything apart. As to the question I ask, is it a male? Is it celestial or terrestrial? Man, woman. And so the fire and the preparation is made. They need the dough for what reason? And they make cakes for the queen, the melech, the queen of the heavens. The queen of the heavens. I don't do that. You're going to see what you really do. Yes. Is this a biological queen yet? One that is terrestrial. Yes. They can't see. She has been formed in their mind by the activities of their deeds. Yes. Not only that, but what has been passed down, yes, the generation of time. That as they would say, I'm going to hold on to my religion. Yes. And making bread for the queen. Because you hear men today will say the women of mind their queens. I find them to be Jezebels and sluttish and whorish and liars and thieves. Deceitful. Don't worry, we'll get the 7 kings. Yeah. Is this woman? Is she in the physical form as I? He says, for the queen of the heavens. And they pour drink offerings the gods. The gods. I know I'm right. You're wrong. Because every God is right. The sight of his or her own eye. One not, as the Spirit of the heart says, the day you defile. Yah says, repent and get it right with him. Get it right with her. The day you defy that. Anything that Yah speaks to correct you, you are a damn dog. You have become a God. Because he said you will become a God like Yah, knowing doubt from evil. I don't give a damn if it's you and your non-bearing children you have born from. Makes no damn difference. I'm going to bring this home to us, all right?
Yes.
You might as well love me. And a man that's going to be honest with you like this. And tell you the truth.
No.
And they may drink offerings to their gods. And this is what Yah says, and they have encouraged me. They provoke and they provoke me to anger. Hamas. I want to kill them all. If it had not been for YHWH on my side, that's why I bless him. But I went to the greenhouse this morning to look at the ceilings. I bless but just get up. Just to get up, but not all my limbs operative. I looked at those yesterday and I said, Yah, I bless you. I do barak you for all things. As I said, it's can be. I'm glad who I am. I don't want to be greater than no one else. I want to be just what you made me to be.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Yah says they have encouraged me, the angry. Is this a biological queen? Is there a queen that is violent, reprehensible, wicked, and evil? Does she have a, is there a name associated with her? Sure. I guess it's the name part, don't worry about it. So we know that the words melach, it implies more than just a man. That's found in, to understand or contextualize this, read Jeremiah chapter 44. You'll find the context of this. Another question I will ask, is this a man or is this something that is beyond our biological physicality to see this one? You must understand you don't see your corruption. Am I the only one that has said I don't see what's wrong about it?
Yeah.
I will.
Hallelujah.
Am I the only one said I've done no wrong?
Yeah.
This is how corrupt. If the oldest one in here shakes her head, well, then I know that between she and I, everyone has fallen into place.
Yeah.
Because we're arrogant.
Yeah.
I gave you this teaching 2 weeks ago. I couldn't put it down, but that's all right, whether you like it or not. I don't give a damn. There's no one here or you that are listening that can change the element of what I will teach, not money. I don't care if I make you mad or you're mad in the grave mad. Makes me no difference. Listen, this is found in Revelation. We'll go back there again. I'm not going to tell you what meeting. I'm I'll tell you where I read from.
Yes.
You will find it.
Hallelujah.
We don't do much no way but lay on our us and do things that are frivolous. We don't spend much time with God. I'm talking to you. This is what the Lord says here. Segregated, set apart for one thing. To hear what Haruach speaks for my time. But he saw something that was magnanimous. Yochanan, the revelation. He said, I saw the devastation we can see in Jeremiah 44, where Yah says, you provoke me to anger.
Yes.
We're going to see some results of that anger in Gilead. This one that Yah had and has ordained for the time. This nation of people, the mindset above all things. Don't ever forget that.
Yes.
It is the labor, the mind. The Shalishach says, and they that violence people, those beings, that thing, he said they had a king over them. Did he look like me? Sure he did, because he looked like you. They had a king. You are the one that rules your violence. You sit on your Marduk, your throne. Your scepter is your wicked ways. You defy the order of Yah. You disdain for his commands, and the first 5 books you don't give a damn. And they had emotions possess its own kingdom power, your thoughts, your speech. And they had moral. And they had a king over them. Yah tells us who this one is. Yah says he is the angel. He's not the melech. He's the angel of the bottomless abuso pit. Can I stop there for a moment? In my days, I don't know if I've used the terminology, but the old ones would say this, and they would use this kind of terminology. Quote, I can feel it in the pit of my stomach. Unquote. I just sense something in the pit. I can feel it. I'm old enough to recall my grandmother and those utilizing that terminology. They would say that because there was a reaction. Make them sick, made them noisier. They can feel it. This one, there is nothing more damnable than your feelings. It comes from the abuso. What is the abuso? I'll get to that. It is the depth and deepness. What is the most deepest thing there is? The Torah will answer it for us already. They had a king, a melech. They had a Basilios. He was out of the bottomless pit. And it identifies his name. It says in the tongue of Hebrews, his name is Abat-Bu. He's the one of destruction.
Yes.
Death. That's his name. Oh, this is not one of the 7 kings. Just hold your spot.
Yeah.
And the tongue of my forefathers, they would know. They could see the destruction. And his name implies one thing. destruction, death, apocalyptic. That is his name. And there is no one that creates more apocalyptic stupidity and death than he. He gives us his name. In order to understand his personality, you must go back to the first 5, search it down to Revelation.
Yeah.
I've done that for you, don't worry. He says in the Greek tongue, his name is Apollyon. That is his name. It's amazing that the names imply, and they mean the same. Destroy, death, and destruction. But he came out of the bottomless abuso. He came from the deep, from the depths, from the deep place. Can I identify his abode? I will. You let me do it or not. God has given me the command. That's found in Revelation chapter 9. Read the entire chapter. You find it. Revelation chapter 9. What is that abuso, that thing that is so deep? I asked that question, did I not? I'll answer it. I don't want you to try to answer it aloud. Answer it in your own mind. We realize just what little I know. There's a prayer by the one whose name is Dawid. He saw his Oye on every side. Around here. He saw every kind of evil, every kind of deplorable, wicked activities for one thing. And that was to bring him down. And he prayed, he made Bala unto Yah. He prayed unto Yah. Great intercession, the depth of deepness.
Yes.
Because he knew that he was in trouble. If Yah does not fight the battle for me, if he does not sustain me, then the battle is already lost. I don't want to fight this battle.
Hallelujah.
I want him to be my Milchaya, the one with the superb weapons. And I can find them in this book. What is the abuso, that which is deep? He was a king from the bottomless pit. There is nothing that is so deep without a bottom than one thing. This is the prayer of Dawid. This is found in Tehillim. Just listen. He said, there are those that are encamped about me, that they encourage themselves in evil matters. You don't do that, do you? You know you're doing something evil, and you continue to do evil. You are a child twisted from hell. You know you are wrong, devil. They encourage themselves. Hell, that's tough there. Now, that's a bad boy. I know you have done me wrong, and I encourage myself to be vindictive and to get back. That's evil. That's beyond satanic. So you encourage yourself. No. I don't encourage anyone else to do evil. You encourage yourself. You mandate it of yourself. I don't care what no one says. Well, I do care what. I want my light to shine. I don't want no damn darkness of my wicked ways to blot out the light. The lamp of Torah, the lamp of his love, the lamp of his kindness. I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want that. He says, they encourage themselves in evil matters. There's a colon there. They commune, they talk to themselves, and they speak in their language to lay evil snares. That's an evil individual. And the 7 kings, we go to identify them. And if the Torah doesn't speak the same thing as I read from Revelation 17:10, throw the book away. No, just get away from this damnable dog here. He has tricked you, lied to you, and beguiled you. They lay snares, they say, who sees me? I don't care if you see me. I don't care if you see attitude toward your kingdom riches. That's what they say. You ain't seeing in me what I see in you. I know damn well you don't. Because you're so evil. There's nothing like a blinded evil mind. I want your presence to show me I'm evil. I want our fellowship to show me how wicked I am. My ways are right with you. I said to his Ishyo, he wasn't here. I said, you see me talking to your Ish. I said, I got right in his face. And the first thing I said, that my breath stinks. She told me it stinks. And she didn't lie to me. So I want to let you know that it stinks. I want you to look at my eyes. You see, I just wanted to embrace him and give him a hug. And I knew it was stinking. I say to her at times, my friend here, I said, no, my brother stinking. That's your friend. What? That's why I like to stay back a little bit. She doesn't lie to me on things like that. Your breath stinks. And it was. You got some of that stuff in the spray in your mouth? Okay. I don't like the way it tastes. Well, spray some. Get some air freshener. I said, is it that bad? That's how we stink before now. Yes, yeah. Listen to me. And don't think your breath hasn't stunk, all right? It has stunk. As Granny would say, it stunk. Hallelujah. Who shall see us? Me. I see. I approve of me. Look what they said. Dawid said they search for evil. They search for injustice. And they accomplish diligently the search. They want to find something wrong. I find everything wrong with me. I don't need to find out what's wrong with you. I find out everything's wrong with me. You evil. Because my evilness is not going to allow the power of those 7 kings to rule in me. No. It's my evil. Yes. He says they search out injustice. They do evil just to do it because they're evil. They do evil. The word's evil. They're arrogant. They're proud. They do evil just to do it. And they will do a diligently search to say, what's wrong with you? But what's wrong with you? That's what we do. It says, both, now listen to y'all, I want you to understand. He says both, their inward thoughts. Both their inward thoughts. of every thought, every one of your thoughts, come out. It is so foul and so evil. Listen, he says, and the heart is pollution. It is deep. It has a depth to have wickedness that is so evil.
Yes.
There is nothing. And they had a king over them. From the bottomless, there is nothing that pollution that is so deep than one's own evil of one's heart. There will be those of the day say, man, let's talk about the deep things. They would think from their liver, they could conversate on matters with great richness and depth. You only know a one-liner. If you picked up a line from here, them, that one, those, so you got 5 lines. There's no depth to your wisdom, your knowledge. It's cheesy, it's cheap.
Yes.
You have not done the kind of regalness of search to find out the element of that thing. So there is nothing more crucial than one's own heart. And they had a king over them. He was out of the bottomless pit.
Yes.
Can I ask us all a question? What speaks to you? What is the adjudication of matters? Does it come from counsel of others, or does it come from your own devious, damnable, twisted, evil ways? It comes from you. Because you think you're deep. Because you think you're deep. Man, he's deep. No, he's not deep. He's deep in sin.
Yes.
And you think because of your rationalizing, you will have the answer. And they came, their king is from the bottomless pit. Let me ask you another question. What rules over your emotion? Does it come from the externals or come from your damn childish, immature ways? Tell me. It comes from you. It doesn't come by wise counsel, you don't have any. Because a wise man or woman will hear those that are wiser, and they will love them. But a fool will get your blood. They will act stupid, they will act immature, and they will be just like a child. You know his son, every day he come popping. And he gets sad, he turns around, he goes right back to his activity. He gets on the stick. I will not even equate you as a child. You're mentally twisted. That's what we are, you're twisted. And it's a fact, nation. We're going to show you the ruling power. I'm going to identify the 7 kings. We're looking for some. Well, it's the king of the United Arab Emirates. You don't even know where. You couldn't find it on the map for me. What about you? I can. I have one from the United Arab Emirates. I don't know if it was from Oman or whichever little island. Don't you know some of those places? They have retrieved land or sand from the sea to enhance their islands, to make them larger. They have nothing. They have nothing but name alone, and they take advantage of the stupid. The big come, the gold. What gold do they have? Well, what resources? There is no oil there, but they have a monarch. They have a king to rule over them. So show me 7 kings of some kind of monarchy. Well, President Trump is not the king.
Yes.
There's a legislative process that produces a president. He doesn't rule on the dime. And that's a fact.
Yes.
So where are the 7 kings? Where are they coming from? You all know that this is the end time, you end time prophets that speak all the time. Where are they coming from? Those 10 nations don't have enough nuclear power to even run their electricity. How are they going to overthrow? I'll show you how it's done, nation.
Yeah.
He says, yes, the inward thoughts of every one of them, not your name, every one of you, the heart is deep. It's amuch. It's deep. It's got depth. And their king came from bottomless pit. And the power that rules over you comes from that deep well of your ignorance, of your sinful, wicked. That's why Dawid had to pray like that. Because even in his own heart, he was beginning to distrust Yah. And he said, Yah, unless you do it, because I know the heart of these men, they're deep. They come up with things that, please help me.
Yeah.
So Yah, I want you to help me and be my guide against one thing. Against one thing. And lead me down the path of Sadiq against one thing. Can I tell you? Will you believe me? Me.
Hallelujah.
How about that?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
You're right. Every man, you know who he is. When you don't, you know you're evil.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
But I'm the type that would tell you you're acting like a jackass of a child. I will.
Yes.
I don't care what your mommy says, your grandmammy, your wife, your husband. I hate immature people that want to be mature. I despise it. It's one thing, can I say this, as the children love me not because I treat them differently. I don't treat them different. We sit at the table, they just live, they're my next door neighbors. You know what? They love you because they have the sense of sincerity. Is Yah sincere?
Yes.
You love him. Don't answer this one. You love him. We all say we love him. But you know he loves you. And he woke me up this morning. And he started me on his way. Yeah, YHWH is blessing me. You've heard that before. Listen, is it too cold for you? Turn that one off. I'm all right up here. I don't want the old ones, the bones, that are a little chilly. I'll press and just leave that one on for me. All right, I see him back there. I don't want you to get too cold, all right? As found in Tehillim, Psalms, chapter 64. You don't have to read far to find that one, all right? Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Buso. There's nothing more deeper than one's own corruption because you're smarter than everyone. You know everything. I don't want to be like that. I contemplate with brothers. I talk to her, ish, and hers, and although I know the best way to do it, I don't diss what they say. All right, let's go that way. Because I'm looking yesterday before that fertigator to fertilize the plants. And he says, well, yeah, we're going to go with that one, the big one. Well, that thing cost $1,000. Easily we go with the one that's a little smaller. You get it for a third of the price. Let's try that one first. See, I will hit him up with that. All right. Oh my, he hears me. Can I move a little farther into the depths of this teaching? All right. He talks about Baliam. Never. I want to show us nation. You cannot get revelation of anything or gada. It's uncovered. You can see the nakedness of it. That's what revelation is. You see the nakedness of the matter. Yes. There is no injectors or injections. It's plain, it's simple, it's understandable. Yeah. You can see it. And so to understand these 7 kings, we must understand Napoleon, this destruction, and Amador at the same meeting. I want to show you the first place. It is revealed unto us in Torah, in Dawid. It doesn't say Napoleon, but it has the same ingredients of definitive.
Yes.
And you will understand, because destruction, let me read this then, and see if it gives us the same indication. They are gods the many. They are lords the many. They are kings the many.
Yes.
But there are 7 that their disposition is like no other, that it is detestable. It is so defiled and
Yes.
corrupt. Well, I know what the prophets will tell you. They tell you, well, what was the king of Iran? Iran has no king. It has what they call a supreme ruler. They have an imam that is astute and the law of their Islamic codes, Sharia or whatever. He's a lawyer.
Yes.
And he understands the laws of the Quran. He must be supreme. He is the supreme leader. So it's not Iran. It's not Iraq. Who are these 7 kings? Look at what Dawid says here concerning this Apollo, this destroyer. He says here, it's in Tehillim, still there again. He says unto Yah, because he had this sense that his prayer was being hindered, Yah wasn't hearing him, and he was saying to Yah, I need some comfort. I do.
Yeah.
He utters this to Yah like this: shall your racham, shall your love kindness, you love me, you say, shall I speak of that or declare that once I am in the Kibbutz, in the grave, Sheol, that this is this man speaking to you? Well, if I'm dead, I can't talk anymore.
Yes.
This is his challenge to you. So in the midst of all of this mayhem, can I declare and say he is full of love kindness if I'm dead and in the grave? So he's challenging the thought of Almighty Yah. There's a question mark here in Tehillim 88. That's what this is found, Psalms 88. Just write that down. And then he begins to question. He says, and your faithfulness. Are you faithful to me, Yah? Can I declare your faithfulness if I'm dead? We're dead to sin. We can declare his faithfulness. He says, or even your faithfulness in Abaddon, in destruction, in death, in being destroyed. Can I declare your faithfulness? These are the circumstances of my life. There was one that rose out of the pit of darkness, out of the pit of your own mind, out of the pit of your own heart.
Yes.
He rose over you. It rose over you.
Yes.
And so you cannot declare how faithful Yah is. Because he picked me up, he reminded me of my ills and my sins, and he showed me how vile and how corrupt I am. When you're in the depths of sin, you're dead because you have trespassed. It is the power of Abaddon,
Yes.
the spirit of your king and your God. You cannot declare the greatness of Yah.
Yes.
And that's what he was saying. The Most High. Can I declare that? Can I speak of how kind you are? Yeah, you had fears that week, doubts. Your sins reminded you. If it had not been Yeshua on my side, I know where I would be in the same cross. This is what I will, my friend. In the midst of power of this king ruling, I don't see him. Come from the depths and the deepness of your heart, because you have not hid his truth in your heart, that you will sin not against him. You've hidden lies. You've hidden every kind of violent, evil, contempt thing. You've hidden all against YisraYah'ale. All of this is about, it's about one people. It's about YisraYah'ale. You've done wrong by the Achim. You've done wrong by the daughter. You're moody as hell. You're fake and you're phony. That's what this is about. I will prove it today. I'm going to show you. It's right here. Not too many people like this. Ouch, that's all right. I'm not here to make friends with you. I'm here to show you that he's a friend of only those that he has elected. Not everyone is elected. That's a fact. You hear the old folks would say, that's the wayward child. Yes, you. I don't care what the other ones, which way they shake their head. You shake your head at you, that's enough for me. You included in that. And they knew that he was wayward. She knew that she was wayward. And when they heard of their spiritual death, I knew it was coming. And they will prepare themselves. Let me move a little further, all right? That's found in Tehillim, Psalms 88. Psalms 88. But there's one thing that we must all do. And there was one thing that when this man, Ego, was in the thralls of this Apollyon, he had to identify things that were strictly about him. He had to hear either facet. So far, you're not righteous. Jackass of a man. You silly dumb woman, you're not right. I was in the store yesterday. Don't worry, don't worry about the 7 kings. I got you. And so when I took the payback, they gave me a gift card because she said, well, I'll have to put it back on the credit. I said, no ma'am, I want to use that money now. And the people, I'm going to that Lowe's for 25 years. I've been here 24 years, I've gone to that Lowe's before they do it. And there are people that have been working there since then. They know me. Nick has been there ever since I've gone there. She said, okay, well, I'll give that. She said, I was going to mention that. I said, thank you, ma'am. So when I go to check out, everything was like $300 and some change. Well, I knew that. I said, okay, I got my veterans 10%. I had just enough cash to pay for it. So I gave the woman the card to take the paint off. And so when I gave her my Milo's card, she says, I said, where's my discount? She said, well, I can't give it to you because you gave me that card, that gift card. I said, ma'am, hold on. Well, you're going to have to take it all the way down. I said, no, I'm not taking it down there. I'm not. I said, you'll learn something today. I said, I'm not taking this card all the way back to returns. You're going to do it right here. Well, sir, you can't. I said, no, ma'am, I am going to get that. I am going to get my 10% off. I said, I want to save those $23. I got to get my baby some ginger ale, and some ice cream. I spent double that. Well, sir, I said, ma'am, call your manager. The manager comes in, okay, we know how to do it. I said, now, see, you're going to learn something today. See, the manager learned something. Realize You're going to have to just refund everything back, refund him his money back, and let's start over. Now, we're going somewhere. $173? You think I want to pay 200 plus? No. I don't mind waiting 10 minutes for that. And when she finishes, I thank you, cutting it back. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the service to the country. I don't even respond to that folly. I don't say nothing. Thank Mr. Lowe's and the board for giving me 10% off. Yeah, I don't mind that. Giving me 10% off 200. That was enough for the sooty pops. And my emotions made me buy the ice cream. And this person in the back loves butter pecan. I like any kind of ice cream. I just don't want mess. I want to proceed here. Just a little. Eob, I want you to hear this. Eob, we must first of all acknowledge the power, the strength of Yah. And how do I do that? Just look up when you nutty as a fruitcake.
Hallelujah.
Well, that happens. I look at the gown out there, I look at the plastic, dress right dress, the garden. I like that. That makes me happy. I got up and went to the greenhouse this morning. I like that. Just look up. Full.
Hallelujah.
It's one thing I've always known in life. My circumstances are nothing compared to what many are going through.
YHWH.
I was reading the news, just the art of the capture. Young man asked, it must have been a wealthy man. Sir, I'll take your food and everything in. I'll help you if you just give me some food. Not money. And he didn't realize what he was dealing with. And the man had a sense that this young man, he was as dark as I am, has the sense. You could look at the young man's face. I could look at him. There was no vile, sadistic intent. And the article said he didn't realize what he was dealing with. There was a young man that the police pulled him over to give him a ticket. When he pulled the young man over, the young man said, sir, yes, I'm on my way for a job. I don't have a small time to get there. The cop takes him, puts him in his car, takes him for his interview, let the interviewer know that he was speeding. I was going to give him a ticket when he was trying to get in. They gave the young man the job.
Hallelujah.
You don't have that kind of kindness.
Yes. Yeah.
As much that lies within us as a nation.
Yes.
Be kind to her.
Yes.
Treat him right. I don't care if he doesn't like me kissing him on the forehead. So what? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. And I do it still.
Yeah.
YHWH.
We sometimes don't realize what kinds of things that need to be broken out of us. The way I treat her will be the way I treat her. You. The way she treats me will be the way she treats you. You. The way you treat you, I treat her that way. That's all I'm going on your forehead, as far as I'm going. But the Torah tells us to greet one another with it. Kadosh. Can't let feelings and emotion get in the way. I don't care if it's feelings, it's emotion. It makes me no different. I'm a bad boy. I am. Can I go a little farther?
Yeah.
Let me read this. This is Eob. Now listen to it. Listen to it. It's in Job. I'll tell you when I finish. As he acknowledged the greatness of Yah's power. Look at that. You can see his power, can't you?
Hallelujah.
He says, Sheol, hell, the underworld, the Shalom, the demons, the grave, the hell's pit. And your heart is a hell's pit.
Yes.
You think you're deep, but you're not deep. You're shallow.
Yeah.
He says, I know that it is naked before you.
Yes.
There's no clothing that hell can put on. There's no clothing that the grave can put on. It's all naked before you, Yah. What he was saying to Yah, all of this I'm masquerading in. My feelings and all this. I know that I'm nothing but naked. Because hell is naked before you. The grave is naked before you. The one that rules in the pit is naked before you. He says naked before you. And then he says, and Abaddon. Destruction has no truth. It has no concealment, has no covering. And your destructive, evil, sadistic ways, your phoniness and your fakeness cannot cover it.
Yeah.
You can pretend all the damn you want to. It's still silly.
Yeah.
Still immature. That's the way we is. That's the way we is. Because there are 7 powerful ruling powers that rules. I know the name of every one of them.
Yeah.
There is no 7 kings, son, that's going to rise up that Yah has prepared to rule the world. These 7 rule every aspect of the world. It rules in what world? Can I tell you? It rules in the world of iniquity.
Yes.
And the world of iniquity is here. The world of iniquity is what that thing you call here. And that's all it is. It's an iniquitous appetite of every kind of violent thing there is. Knowing this about Yah, and you think that you're covered to say that I'm kind or nice, I'm sweet to people and nobody's sweet to me, you're a flat out liar. You are a liar.
Yes.
Because you picked up a piece of paper in my front yard, you're kind. That's bogus bull. I don't want to ever do anything that I want some kind of. I don't want nobody to reward me. He's going to reward me.
Yeah.
We don't have a heart to love each other. You are a sick creature. Love reciprocates love. I don't care what you say. If I love that child, she's going to love me.
Yes.
If I'm kind to that child,
Yes.
I'm kind to you, you're going to love me.
Yes.
You become so rigid and cold. And that's the nature, the power of the kings that are 7. They're perfect in their order. There's nothing about my childhood that makes me act differently.
Yeah.
Go there. I heard this man, my Ishona, we were both crying. I said, that kind of stuff makes me cry. She's up there sniffing. This woman died. And I don't promote any kind of evil thing. This is what made me cry. He wanted the child to be his child. He wasn't sure. And she wasn't sure. When it all settled, it was his child. So the person that was adjudicating the case looked at him and says to him, how do you feel? This is what made me cry. He says this. He said, I've never had a family. No grandmother. No aunt. No mother. No cousins. He said, I have nobody. And I want him. Because I need a family. That broke my heart right there. She was doing the same thing. See, that's a sensitivity.
Yes.
Stuff like that, I like to get away from that. He said, I have no family. Nobody. I've never known a grandmother. Wow. I've never known a mother. I can't say that. I had a mother. I've never known a brother or sister. Not even that. I want to give him all of that. I said, y'all help the young man. let him do that. And he will do that, believe me. What he did was wrong, but that child was not the one that told him to do wrong. Get out of here. That things that make me emotional. I do get that. I do. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So destruction, Apollyon, is uncovered before Yah. You think that my ways of my God power is not uncovered? Then he goes on to say that's found in, I do apologize, that's found in Eob. Read chapter 26. Eob 26. In another place, he speaks of the great wisdom of Yah, what Yah had granted unto him. His hukmah, the ability to reason from his experience. He didn't have a book like me. But it was the interaction between Yah. He had seen the works of Yah from the rising of his bed in the morning. He would see the dew. He would see the sunrise. And he knew that it was the Most High that did that. He would see the rain in due season and the earth for his plants. And his children were just evil and wicked because of the abundance and the plenty. But he remembered Yah when he says to Yah, as he's trying to adjudicate his own realness, or how sincere he is with Yah. That's what this chapter is about here. You have to read the entire chapter of Eob, Job 28. You'll find this what I'm reading. So there's a salutation, there is an interaction. He's speaking to Yah. He says, from where then comes Chokhmah? Where does wisdom come from? Where it comes from? Then he says, where's the place of understanding? How do I discern Yah? How do I know? Where does wisdom come from? Where's the place of understanding? He said, Ma'ayin, being open, seeing, it is wisdom. Seeing, it is wisdom. You think I don't see Yah? You think I don't know? See, it is wisdom that is hidden from our eyes of all the living. Of all the living thing, wisdom is hidden from our eyes because we think we know everything. We think we know it all. We think we got it right. Anytime you think you got it right, you got it wrong. Anytime you think you got it right, because as the old as I pat myself on the back, I will kick myself in the backside. Anytime you think you got it right, you know you got it wrong. This is what he says to Yah. He says, and kept close from the fowls of the air. Even the fowls of the air, you keep that close, you keep it shut up. Then he says this, knowing this Eob, he says, Abaddon, destruction, and death, Maletha, says, this is what destruction says. This is what the king of your own destructive heart, your own nature destroys you. It is not what you do to her, what she does to her, and what she does to her, he does to him. It is your own nature that destroys you. It destroys any kind of sensitivity, any kind of care, any kind of love. You don't want to be confronted with love. Yah is love. He confronts us today with love. You don't want to be loved. You don't want to be confronted with love. You're crazy and we are stupid and immature. Look what he says. He says, Abaddon, destruction, and death says. This is what even the king of the darkness of hell, of the pit of your own heart, even in Pluto, in the deepness and the depth of your heart, you think it's hid, but it's not hid. Will my friend do that? He says, Eob, we have heard the shema, the fame thereof with our ears. We have heard and we know Eliphaz and Zophar and Bildad that were my father's friends. They're here to counsel me in your way because we have heard. Yes. And they have instructed me. And they have told me. It was only when Eo prayed for them. They were not wrong. Only then did Yah restore him.
Yes, sir.
And he gave him beautiful children instead of wicked ones.
Hallelujah.
There's nothing that's hidden from Yah.
Hallelujah.
The God of your bottomless pit, Abaddon, because he is only bringing destruction to you. You can't destroy me.
Hallelujah.
I can't destroy you, but you do a hellacious job destroying you. Any kind of sensitivity, any kind of emotion, any kind of, yeah, I like to feel. I want to feel my Bishop's love. I want to feel the brother's love. Yeah, I want to feel that.
Yes.
When I embrace them, I want them to know, put it here, baby.
Yeah.
Feel my strength.
Yes.
I want her to feel my love.
Yeah.
I said the other day to myself, I said that Ema plays me like a fiddle. She gets over on me. She plays me like a fiddle. I don't mind her playing me.
Yeah.
She just doesn't get by me. Did y'all hear that?
Yes.
I want her to play me.
Yeah.
I want her to play me. She just can't get by me. She can't get by me. I want her to play on my heartstring.
Yeah.
But don't try to get sin and corruption and some kind of sadistic lie or evil. I will cut your head off, cow.
Sure.
Yeah, I said that, cow.
Sure.
But I want her to play me.
Yes.
She use me. Use me, yeah? That's right. You see, you don't hear what I'm saying, but you don't want. I want her to use me.
Yes.
I want her to use my laugh.
Yeah.
I want her to play me like you play a violin. I do.
Yes.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
She think I ain't by go get by me. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Play me. Yes, she plays me. Well, you ain't not a strong man. That's your problem. You're not even a man.
Yeah.
I will. You're not even a man. So am I to playing me? Or am I to using me? It makes me feel happy.
Hallelujah.
I needed some change the other day. I said, you got change for this C spot? Only the old schoolers know what the C spot is. She said, yes. If she got 20, she'll put back 10. She got 40, she'll put back 20. So she got this little secret place. So I said, no, I want to find out where you got it. If I need something. And you don't even have no lock on it. She said, I got a lock for it. It's okay. I don't have to worry about the lock. I can knock that open. That's not even a challenge to me. I can pick that open and you won't even know I've been in there. And so I followed her because I wanted to know where it was. I followed. She pulled out this little box and she takes a key. That's not a lock, baby girl. I wouldn't even waste my time locking that. Really. It's not even worth the lock. She pulls it out and she had about 6, 7 20s in there. So you got a spot there. There, I needed she pulls it out. Here's, so you got a spot down there too. As I know where it's at. If I need something, I know where to come. And you won't even know I've been there. She said, I know. You won't know till it's gone. So you know you got a change like this. You go out, I said you need something, you need a 20. You take advantage of that. And you know you've got a spot there. So next time I know where to go, get a spot. Yeah, I want her to use me. Her kindness, her love for me, I let her use me. Her sweetness to me, I let her use me. Her loyalty, her faithfulness, her obedience to me, I want her to use. I have no hell, raising no hell, and running off at her mouth and getting loud. No, that ain't about to happen. That ain't gonna happen. You can come over and talk all you want to. One more here in the book of Job that was found in Job 28. One more, listen. He speaks and we all think we have great integrity. So Job speaks of his integrity here as he speaks unto Almighty Yah. He says, as far as his integrity, it is superb above all. And he said this thing is an atrocity that is heinous. It is crazy. For this is a zimah. It's wicked. It's crazy. It's an evil crime that has been perpetrated against me. Semicolon. He had to catch his breath. And he says, yes. And there's a comma there. You have to make sure what he was saying. It is an iniquity for you, Yah, knowing you the judge. For me, a matter of my integrity to be punished, now the shaftir. That's what you think. That's where we are. I'm better than that. I'm better than your correction, Yah. This is what this man is saying to Yah. And then he says, in all of this judgment of me, for it is the fire of Abaddon that consumes, it destroys, if I would have my root of increase. I want to increase, and yet this destructive force, because it's you, Job. And when you realize that it's all about him and not you, when you realize it's not about you, it's about your kindness and your love to others. It's not about how one man treats me, because I was saying straight. They say, give me some love, baby. That's the way I am. I will never leave a matter undone with me. I never have, and I never do. Only a coward's of that kind of corrupt mindset can do that. I don't care. Even those that have lived here, they will let you know, I've never done that. I don't care if you don't agree with me. So what? She doesn't agree with me all the time. So what? You can blame me. But don't think you're getting by. The same standard for her is the same standard for me. So what I do in my house, I don't have to hide it. She's going to do the same thing I do. So she can play me, she can use me, she can pull on my string, and I will, like a puppet. When a man finds a wife, that's why you don't rush in or nothing. He finds an Ezra's son. She's special. Nothing like her. You all out there want to get married, but you're not even ready to get married. She's special. She is something that Yah equates to him. He used the word Ezra. She's a special help. She helps his integrity. You can't have her acting one way. Nobody knows what to do. And this man has the strength of a Zakhaini one day. You can't be acting like that, and you acting all. You can't do that. You think you've got some authority because he says, I came, none here. You got authority right there with them youngins. Hallelujah. I don't care who doesn't love me. I don't give a damn, and I say it that way. I will go home this evening when I leave you, my friend. I'll give you some rest. I went to bed last night. I didn't wake up for nothing. Swoop. That's where I go out. When I go out, Swat! That's it. 4:30. Time to rock. I have to get up. When I close my eyes, waking up to do this and that. Now, swoop! That's it. When the clock goes out, swat! That's it. That's it. When I go out, I go out. Swoop! And I'm down until 4:30 in the morning. Don't have to get up for nothing. Don't have to get up for nothing. Don't have to get up for nothing. Swaka! Boom. And I sleep. And my eyes open this back. No use of trying to put them back. I got this morning, what time? 4:30 or 5:30? 4:30. Swooka-whoa! But I like that because they give me time. I can sit there a little bit and study it. I've done that this morning. Then I can drink my mushroom tea and all of that. Coffee. I like to see the sun come up. See the light coming up upon me. Yeah. That's right. There's one more reading that was found in EO 31:11. Don't worry, I got you. We're gonna get to this. I got 1 hour. Don't worry. And then we're going to part 2. See, we like the sugary snack. Right. We want to hear something you don't even know how to organize it. I'm building up the foundation where you know that what I'm about to show us, it is the truth. Yeah. And when I get to those places, I want you to turn there and we're going to read it together. How about that? Yeah. Okay? Hallelujah. Yeah. This is the wisdom here of this Abaddon or Polyan. This is what the wisdom of Shalom says. Hallelujah. This is what Proverbs chapter 15. Just write it down. Don't read. Don't turn. He says, Sheol, hell, and destruction, Apollyon, the gods of the deep. I have my deep secrets, and I hide them in the very bosom of my God. And I know that everything I do, listen, that's why Abaddon and Apollyon, it destroys us. It brings about your own demise and your own destruction in everything you do. It will destroy friendship and love. It will destroy actions that are sincere. It destroys all of that. It is nobody's fault but your stupid ways. It's my fault. It's my ways that hinder me. Your ways have never hindered me. Her ways doesn't hinder me. Make me want to rock upside her head. No! It's only my ways. My actions that mess me up. I am not blaming nobody for me. I don't care how unkind people are to me. It doesn't make me change. It doesn't make me treat them that way. Seen those that I know they've been dogs that done me wrong. How you doing, man? Hey, you gotta give me some bump, baby. That's all you're going to get from me, some bump. Now, you're not going to embrace me. I'm not going to let you hug me now. Now, that ain't not about to happen. Give me some of that. Her old silly brother came recently, and the other, I said, you're silly, man. I want to see my daddy's grave. I said, come on, I'll take you down there. Don't come to see daddy's grave. He got down on there and said, get up, silly boy. Get out. This place look different. I said, it is different because you're not here. True. They don't disrespect me. They don't. When said, I want a wife. Come on, you tall, regal looking boy. You got, come on, yeah, you can. He said, I want a wife for you. You can't get one from here. If I had 20 of them. And of all of his doing, there's not even a wife. He knows that there's no wife material out there. Brothers, don't be impatient, young.
True.
It's more than about some kind of physical action. It's greater than that. That ain't worth a damn anyway, because it doesn't create compassion.
Yes.
That's what that is for.
Yes.
Kindness and sweetness.
Yes.
That's why God grants us that.
Yes.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
A feeling, a love, a sensitivity to each other.
Yes.
I will look for the wife.
Yes.
Me as an older man, that's all I'm saying, son. You do. God sent me a wife. There is no way. Most old women my age live kind of, and I said all of them, most of them. And I'm not trying to marry no young gal. 60, not no 45. So you're not going to find one
Yes.
that has that sensitivity because they haven't been taught, no one has really loved them. Come on, that's my wife 40-some years. You got to understand. I didn't start preaching yesterday. I've been around for a while.
Yes.
Been around for a while. I don't have long. I say, y'all, give me 50 years with her. I do. I want to see that. I do want to see that.
Yes.
Not even about to marry.
Yeah.
You will find a wife, you will find an Ezra that will help you in every aspect. Everything. Everything!
Yeah.
And that's why YHWH has found him a wife. She's going to help in every aspect. Hallelujah. Quickly here in Maccabean. That was in Meshuli 15:11. I want to read this. Just hold on. And I want to get to the depths of what I want to teach.
Yeah.
Got to lay the foundation of stones down.
Yes.
This is one. She raised 7 sons by the strength of her ish. She raised 7 that were pure, that represent the 7 ruchim of Yah. And this is what she says to Yah. She says, I was a tahor, Bethula. I was a pure virgin. That's a beauty, son. Stay pure.
Yeah.
Stay pure.
Yeah.
I was a pure virgin and did not go outside of my father's house. I did not defy the laws. I did not reject the covenant that Yah had placed upon my father, strong man, Torah man. I did not go outside of my father's house, but I guarded the rear from which woman was made. He gave the Torah unto the man woman. He gave the law of righteousness unto the man. It was not the man, it was the woman. You can say what you want to. That does not mitigate her degree of her worth. She said, guard the rear from where I was made, because he poured a Torah into Adon. He was the dispenser of Yah's Sadiq, his righteousness. She said, guard the rear from where and which woman was made. And then she emphatically, she says, no seducer. No one seduced me. On even those desert plains, when I was in every kind of derision and doubt, nobody seduced me and drew me into an avenue that was contrary to Yah. She said, nor did, look what she says. She says, nor did Apollyon. You see, I know this is greater than just destruction. There's a comma here. And then she identifies his origin. He says, the deceitful serpent, the Nachash. Neither did the deceitful serpent defile the purity of my virginhood. You see, the searching of Torah lets me see and know that Apollyon and Abaddon, this destruction, the destroyer, this is the one. She calls him the deceitful, the mirama. He's cunning, he's crafty, he doesn't care. Anytime we as a nation, we try to be crafty with each other, pretend we do care, and you get as fruity as they come, come on, something isn't right with you. You need to get on your face and confess your faults and your sins and stop being childlike.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Unless you're just sick, you can't be healed. She calls him the deceitful Nahash. You see, it is that deceitful king in you that speaks to you. Is that what someone says to you to make you do what you do and make me do what I do? That's just a fact. You're not of that pure state. Tahor. Your mind is not pure because you got the lust and the love of this wicked world, and the world doesn't give a damn about you. And that's a fact. She brought for 7 sons. They identified with the 7 Ruachim. Isn't that amazing, that 7 sons? Yes. 7, 7. That's found in 4th Maccabean. Maccabees 18. Read the whole chapter. And understand the context of that. It will bless you much. It will, nation. You haven't discussed the 7 kings. In order to give this teaching today, part 1, some kind of solidity, I must have minimum, not counting the beginning of Revelation, I need a witness of 5. Because the witness of 5 lets me know, that number 5 lets me know, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I must have a witness of 4. I'm sorry. You know why I must have a witness of 4? 5 with. Because there are things that the Torah talks about 4. And I want to point out this because this must be known in the 4 corners of the world. Yah talks about the 4 corners. Does he not?
Yes.
The 4 corners of the world. And the 4 corners of the world, they don't know because it's too simple. I will begin here. There are things I want to point out as I teach this. 7 kings. Part 2 will be about the attributes of the kings that you identify yourself in. I want you to hear it, then I want you to turn to it. All right, let me read it first. And tell me if this gives any kind of resonance in your mind. Or you can say, well, that doesn't sound too authentic. That's strange. The first one comes from the book of YHWH. I'm not telling you what chapter. I want to read it. YHWH. YHWH. It says this. No, just turn there. 3450. 3450. This is what it says. He says, and he talks about, it says the 7 kings. Does it say that?
Yes.
Does it say the 7 kings?
Yes. 7 kings.
Did not Revelation says, and there are 7 kings?
Yes.
Does it say that?
Yes.
You will never understand the 7 kings until you understand the kings of old. It says, and the 7 kings of the Amorite, the Amorites, Amorite. I cannot understand the depths of what the Amorite are, or who the 7 are, First of all, when you define the word Amori or Amorites, when you look in the Greek lexicon or even the Hebraic lexicon, there is a big question mark there because there is no identity. But when you look how the word Amori evolves, it evolved from one word of the Hebraic tongue. It evolved from the words Ama, A-W-M-A-R. Ama, 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 Amori, Ama. The words Ama. And the 7 kings, they perform one thing. The words Ama means this: to speak what is in your own heart. We know that the heart is deceitful above all things. Your heart, it's desperately wicked. You see, that's what adjudication does. I don't try to adjudicate things out of some form of religious theses. I go straight to the book and I search out words with integrity. It is like the forensic scientist or the one that has that small fragment of that material, the smallest, minute, but can discover all the DNAs, a fabric or a piece of something that is not normal. That's what I do. You both say, no, I'm a forensic of every degree. And so when we see the words Ama, when Yah says, I will speak, or Ama, he said, I will speak from my heart. And this is what the Amori says. I will speak from my heart. And that's the king power of the Amori. They're going to tell you what's on their mind. You never heard people say, I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. Your mind is stupid. It's immature. It's childlike. Shut your damn double mouth. I don't have to say that to my wife, but if she got out of hand, I was, woman, shut your wicked, you better shut your evil, twisted mouth. I have to say that to her. Because when I start talking, used to be a commercial when E.F. Hutton speaks. Everybody gets quiet. When I start talking, you're going to get quiet. Ain't no doubt about that one. Now, let me go somewhere and cry a little bit. Come back and hug me. I won't turn down your hug. I will not. I don't turn down the hug, son, or the embracing. Come on. I don't turn that down now. Hug me. I don't turn down the hug. I don't care how ruthless I've been, how direct. You still can touch me. Hug me. We're not honest, and we think that the 7 kings of the Amori, we're going to get YisraYah'ale. I don't like him, I don't like her. This is the 7 now. There's 7 powerful identities in your kingdom. No, it's not going to be a king of Iran, Iraq. These men are lawyers. You know we're stupid. We're dumb. We're ignorant. And that's just a fact. Does it say the 7 kings?
Yes.
Does it say the 7 kings?
Yes.
It says, and the 7 kings of Moria, what one says in the heart, this is what they say. They assemble with their armies. They say, we're bad. You ain't going to tell me nothing. You can't tell me what to do. I pay my bills here. Cow, get out of my face. The 7, they assembled their armies, about 10,000 men, and they began to draw their swords. They had a killing tool. They came first against the sons of Yaakov. You can't come against the nation. And that's what your heart says. I don't like that sister, I don't like that brother, I don't like them, I don't want to be here. That's what it says. You come against anyone because of your wickedness.
Yes.
You see, you were looking for, I got the king's names, all right? Don't worry, I got the names. Is this making sense?
Yes.
You sure? I began here in Revelation, 7 kings. We're going to finish here with 7 kings too. This is what they said in their own hearts.
Yes.
And that's what the word imari or ama means. To speak what's in your own heart. I'll speak my mind. You never heard that one?
True.
I'm going to tell you my mind. Your mind is cheap and evil.
Yes.
That's why Yahshua is the root of a man, daughters. He's not your damn head. He's the head of the man. The man is the head. He's the root of the woman. That's what they think it comes from here. Shut your mouth and be quiet. Love your man. That's the most important thing you should do, is just love your man. Learn how to love him. Watch others that love their men and learn how to love him. Learn how to be sweet. He's always, I don't care who it is. This is a generation where the women shoot off too much. They shoot off at their mouths. They want to understand love, and love kicked them in the head. And that's just a fact. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't love me. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Well, he's throwing that out to me. Oh, sure I am.
Yes, she is.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? Because it will prove what I am. I gave you that in the beginning. I don't mind her playing me, but you don't play me. She can't play me. You don't play me. My heart pleased me because of my love for you pleased me.
Yeah.
Hey, take out nothing I want to. I take out my shoes for you. I got some ugly sandals over there. She called the children yesterday and they were laughing at me. They're big and bony, but I love those sandals. They're from Pakistan. I had to order them from Britain. I don't like sandals with what this mess they make in America. These are the type they make on the street for you. So I had to get it from Britain. It costs them much to ship it from Britain than it costs to buy the sandals. When I saw them, I said, oh man, get out of here. I ordered an 11 because I wear a 10 and they sent me a 12. And I said to my email, look at this, big. This thing looks like a house. And when I tried it on, I said, I like this. I'm glad he sent me 12. I am. It's made out of old tires. That's what they make. It's nothing fancy. They take tires and rubber off. That's how they make clothes in those countries. Shoes, you understand? And the reason I knew about it because I was reading an article that the Prime Minister of Pakistan, he was a man that was diminutive. And he says to the makers of them, I want a pair of shoes with that wedge on them. They give them a height. And these right here, they're so nice. And so they were wearing them yesterday and they were laughing. Everybody, those shoes look like they're that long, but I tell you they fit. And they are nice and they are comfortable. I can sleep in those shoes. They make them on the street. They make them on the street. I wrote the man and said, do you have another pair? Because I was going to buy them and keep. I've got shoes over there I've never worn. At that price, I buy them out 10 years, but when I go to the grave, you can bury me in a pair, okay? Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Listen to this. We're going to draw the sword against Yaakov. You better stop drawing that sword of your mouth, your tongue, that evil thing against the nation. I don't care who we are. He says they went to draw their sword and came to fight against the sons of Yaakov. And Yaakov heard the kings of the Amorite had assembled to fight against the sons. And Yaakov was greatly afraid. That's what that evil spirit does. It makes people afraid to interact with you because they fear for those that they may love, your sons, your daughter, your wife, your husband. They don't want you to react toward that, so they want to be careful with you. I'm not careful with no one. See, no one has to tell me what to say. I know what to say. I deal with y'all. I'm not dealing with strangers. I know how he is. I know how he is.
Yes.
And so Yaakov was afraid. So I'm not going to be afraid to tell him, tell your wife to shut her mouth. Sit down. I'm not going to be afraid to tell him that. I don't care how she feels. I don't care how he feels. I don't care how he feels, how she feels. And I complete. And this is what they said. They come to fight against the sons. You can't speak against YisraYah'ale nation. You can't fight against the nation. Moshe chose rather to suffer with the people of God than to enjoy sin for a season. That's all you're going to have. And sin is not kind. Sin's going to use you up and spit you out. I'm an old man. But I'm still a man. Believe me. Believe me. I'm an old man. I don't want to look like the ones I went to school with. I don't want to look like them. I don't want to look like the women I went to school with. Hoish and nasty looking at. They got their skilled professional careers. I don't want, ouch. Oh, look at you. I know, I'm looking at you. I don't even want to look in your eyes. It's amazing when they see me, the whole attitude changes. Young people respect me because I honor them. Ma'am, how are you doing? I was in the line yesterday and this woman, I said, let me go to the other line. She said, you get out of the line, I'm not going to check you out. Well, I'm glad I didn't because that one in that line still. I said, all right, ma'am, thank you so kindly. What do you want me to do? You want me to bag this for you? I said, no, ma'am. Just quick, just scan this. I'll bring it over here for you like that. And people will intrigue you that way. I get it all the time. You understand? I get it all the time. And it makes no difference. I'm not some fresh man. I don't play with women. I don't entertain them. And it's not that. They see one that something about him is different. You don't have to want someone looking at you. You don't need nobody to look at you. You don't have to present yourself in a way you want others to look at you and think you're something. You're nothing but a stinking, just like I am. You stink. Don't bathe to find out how you stink. Your breath stinks just like mine. Don't make me kick down on you because I've smelled your breath. I don't mind telling you that. It doesn't bother me at all. Go gargle. I hate flushing that stuff in my mouth. Getting back, nation. They fought against, and Yaakov was greatly afraid, and it distressed them. We should not distress each other.
Hallelujah.
You should not speak. You should not carry out the actions of your desperately evil, sick heart. You should not do that. You should not put others under duress and distress that they got to walk on cotton candy. I'm not walking on cotton candy for any of you. Don't come here thinking that's going to be. Well, right, the other day I said, Agmakos, handle that. Agmakos said, well, this is what he wants. I write him back. I told him, he's a fool. Don't even respond to him. And I wrote back and said, our time is up there, okay? Now, you're asking me a question to see if we're different, so you're going to instruct me? Silly boy. Find you some other clown. You think you can get that by, but with me, you're not going to get it by. And I mean that. The woman's letter was different. What are the days? Okay. Woman, go to the site, you see them. But he handles those things. Don't think you can play with me. Don't come here thinking you're going to have some kind of special privilege. You're going to have the same one we have. No different. You don't come here to exude yourself, think you got something that no one has. You're silly. You stink under your arms. Your breath stinks. Do you brush your teeth in the morning? Do you defecate? All right then. You're just like me. Fool. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. Well, that's only one time. I said I need at least 4. Let's go to Yeshua chapter 40. Well, it's the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. And we're going to deal with these aspects in the time to come in the next series on this, all right? Look what it says in Yeshua chapter 40, verse 22. Verse 22. Yeshua 40, verse 22. Does it say, and the 7 kings of the Canaan need, does it say that?
Yes.
These are merchants. And we have sold and merchandise ourselves for nothing. We sell our Yah's integrity. We see the 7, the Amori. We see the 7, the Canaanites. That's what it says.
Yes.
That's what it said. That's why Yachanan said what he said. Say, now, you Levites, get off your lazy backsides and search. You've got more equipment than I had. I had to retain it. You can forget it, but you still can find it. There were 7 kings, the Canaanites. These were those, what Canaan means merchants. And that's a powerful teaching to deal with the merchant, how they merchandise themselves and how we have become the merchandise of this world. We sell ourselves for nothing. Because there are 7 spirits that rule in you. And we have become so filthy and so nasty, it is abominable before Yah. We've become so nasty, and you think that it's me. And I think that it's you, but it's you, my friend. It's you. Your ones remember that old song, not my mama, nor my daddy, but it's me, oh Yah. I stand here in need of your deliverance. I know you're going to sing it, mama, but I ain't going to sing it that way. Not my auntie, my young'uns, of the stranger I met. It's me.
Yes.
You are the one that perpetrate and do wrong. It's not him doing wrong to me. It's not you doing me wrong. It's not her doing me. You are the one that does wrong. Your actions are wrong and your reactions are wrong. Your ideas and your foolishness is wrong. It's not what you've done. And that's a fact. Yeshua talks about the 7 kings. Did we not read 7 kings in Yeshua?
Yes.
Yeshua 40, 22. And the 7 kings of Canaan, they resolved to make Shalom with the sons of Yaakov. Why? Because they were greatly afraid. For who? Of their lives. On the account of the sons of Yaakov. These 7 demonic powers, kings and rulers, that's why I started out the way I did. That's why I asked you, can a king be one that is terrestrial or celestial? And that's what we pointed out, this queen of the heavens. Was she in the same physical form I am? And that's what I show us in Revelation, the one from the king of the bottomless pit. Was he in the same form? They were invisible. They were terrestrial. They were invisible.
Yes.
They were the heaven celestial. That's what we have to understand. As a nation, as a people. We got to dig beyond our just views. We got to go in the periphery and see that which is on the side and read the entire verse. I did a little study on the word read from the Greek aspect. You would be amazed what the word read means. I said, we don't do this. But we always say we read. You learn how to read text messages and peck on a damn iPhone. But you have to learn how to read. You have not learned how to read. You do not spell the word you, the noun you. You spell it while oh you. I practice my penmanship all the time. I type it. I practice it to perform a sentence and a construct that when you read it, you think is right. I do that. I teach myself all the time. I want to learn, but I learn from others. I learn from everyone. I learn from, there's not one in here I can learn something from. So I don't learn from. I learn discipline. I learn order. I learn beauty from brothers. I learn beauty from sisters. I learn their kindness, their very quiet spirit. I learn those things. It's all important. And I learn from those that are rowdy and speak. Not because they speak with their mouth, they speak with the arrogance of their walk and their attitude. I learn from them. You don't think your arrogance is profoundly spoken in you? We're nothing. Not one of us is above it. Remember the pile of human. Don't make me say that one, okay?
Hallelujah.
You don't even smell as well as that turkey leg over there. When you die, you're going to smell just like me. I never smelled death, but I've heard, you know, my brother, when he come back from Vietnam, he said, baby boy, you don't, he has a smell you never get out of your lungs, your nostril. You told me about the time my brother had 27 missions over Nam. It was a helicopter gun. That's a bad boy. I've shot the M60 machine gun. You got to be a man's man to shoot that. He said he held with one hand. I said, baby boy, come on now, stop it. He said, I was bad. He said, oh, with one hand. The barrel on that thing, how do you know? Because I'm shot. It turns redder than fire. It turns redder than fire. You have to have a glove, an insulated special glove. You got to change some barrels out there. He said, baby boy, I could rock. He said, I didn't miss a beat either. He said, I could snatch that barrel, put that with. He said, I didn't miss a beat. That the lieutenant, the warrant officer would say, he would say to me, Rob, you fine with me, you fine without me. He had 27 missions over Nam. That's twice a month. I'll never forget, he told me, he said, I went to this place. That's the only thing my brother ever told me about Vietnam. He has never talked about Vietnam. He has never talked about Vietnam. He's dead now. He has never talked about Nam to me. He said, baby boy, we go. When choppers are down, we got to go get the soldier boys. And that was a cry, chopper down, chopper down, chopper down. And that warrant officer, we got the rock. You jump, and Granny would say those helicopters up. They had those Chinooks back then, and it just... He said, when I got that baby boy, you will call me that baby boy. He said, when I got that baby boy, those men cry because of those things. We don't realize. That's why I deal with her brother, because he would have been a soldier. That Afghanistan messed that man up. Knowing you killing someone, he knew that. You know that you find right in there, and those shots, those tracers, every 10th bullet, and all of a sudden you don't hear no sound coming out of that. You know, you're not going to check on that. You know they're dead. He said, when I got there, that chopper was down. He said, it was like someone taking a piece of paper and balling it up in their hands. There was arms here, heads there, torso there. He said, and the smell of it. He said, baby boy, you can't get that smell out of your nostrils. He says, nothing like it. He never talked about none. Those that didn't do anything but stayed in the canteen. He was a soldier. I even told her brother, you're a soldier. I knew it. So I would tell my wife all the time, he's a soldier. And him the kind that the military should keep. I said that about her natural brother. I said, he's the type that the military should pay those men. And they did her brother wrong. That man spent 30 years in there. And I said, the reason I know John was a soldier, I said, when I took him back, he had come to visit. I took him back to Fort Bragg, Fort Jackson. I drove him all the way down. And I saw his action with me that day. Boy, I'll knock you out. I don't care what kind of soldier you are. Let me finish up. I'm just saying that because it's very vital and important to understand. There's nothing like the stench of death. I've never smelt it. I don't want to smell it. We've been able to bury those that die here, but there's nothing like it. And my brother, the tears would fall down. Our precious friend Zaki Tamasian. I remember that time I was there, he just wept. He says to me, Ray, I've never been able to talk to nobody but you. Nobody. And the flow of that man's tears, it held all that, he was in now in the early 60s. It held that in him. He could talk to nobody with this simple man. Why? Because he knew I was honest. I was not full of pretense. Trying to pretend I'm something I'm not. There's nothing more devastating than that. That's how probably we want to pretend we're something. You know you're not that.
Yes.
You want to pretend you're sweet. You're nuts.
Yeah.
These are tears because I miss my friend. I don't want to be nothing but what Jan tells me to be. Nothing. I want to be better. I want to do right by all men.
Yeah.
Much as I have opportunity. But I know especially about you.
Yeah.
Special. I'll be special to you. Be special to you.
Yeah.
I'll be special to you.
Yeah.
I want you to know you're beyond my being my son. There's a love that's greater than that.
Hallelujah.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
So we will deal with the aspects of the Canaanite. We're merchants. And that's what this world is doing, is merchandising us, and you merchandise yourself. Well, that doesn't say much. Well, let's go and identify all of the kings, the nations, the province, here in Yeshua 47, 27. And I want to deal with all of these. I can't do it now, but we will. And show you every aspect and show you the degree of their thinking and their mind and show you how you think. He says, and these are the words which Yaakov wrote in the book. Now that's important. Now that part I got to get to. The book. The book. The sefer, the scroll. This is what he wrote in the book, saying, this is what he said. He said, the land and those that dwelt in the land of Canaan, and all the cities of the Hittites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, the Amorrhees, the Perizzites, and the Girgasites, and listen to what he says there. You all have that?
Yes.
How many nations?
Oh.
And what?
Oh.
And what?
Oh.
Oh what?
The 7 nations.
No, oh what?
The 7
The, oh what? The what?
The 7
7 what?
nations.
7 nations. There's 7 nations, there must be 7 kings. And you must understand the attitude and the attribute and how they treat the sons of Yaakov to understand what Yah is talking about here. Not something that some wicked, damnable, lying demon spoke in your mind. Man!
Yeah.
Revelation doesn't come that way. That's why he wrote it down. Yah intended for all to be written. And you must receive the knowledge of that from the beginning to the end. And all of how many nations? 7 nations. All of the 7 nations, where? The 7 nations from the rivers of Mizraim onto the rivers of Euphrates. What is he saying? Why does Yah mention those 2 rivers? Why? You must understand that the promise unto Abraham, the land promise. Now I want to impose something here before I go further, right? We got that, Yeshua, right?
Yes.
Yeshua. Yeshua 47:27. Now let's go quickly to Bereshit, Genesis. Genesis chapter 15 and verse 18. You notice, keep your finger there from Yeshua 47:27. You notice the 7 nations. Does it say that?
Yes.
It says from now.
Yes.
F-R-O-M. This is what a forensic does. He investigates every word. From what? The river of Mizraim. It says the river of Egypt. What river is in Egypt? It is the Great Nile. I learned that in my segregated school. And we learned the distance of the Great Nile. And all of that, how long it was. 2,596 miles. You have to learn that. It says from, right? From the great river, Mizraim, the Nile River.
Yes.
Not only does the Nile run through Egypt, but it runs through 9 nations. I want you to understand that. It says not only that, but this is what Yah speaks to Abraham. And I want to teach on this, the promises unto the nation. It's coming soon. It says in the same day now, Yah made a bridge with Avram, not Abraham, but with Avram. With Avram saying, to your zerah, your seed. Those that shall come from the birth of not Ishmael, not Esau, but the ones that shall come through Yitzchak, Yaakov. I will prove it when I teach on the promises. He says, your seed have I not done, have I given. I have granted, I bestowed what? This land.
Yes.
And so the kings of hell, the spirits of darkness know. That's why in Yasha it made mention of where the place was.
Yes.
Why? Because of what's in Bereshit. He says, from the river, does it say that?
Yes.
From the river of Mizraim of
Yes.
Egypt to the great river of what?
Euphrates.
Betrach. To Euphrates.
Yes.
To Euphrates. What is that implying? You know, I'm a student of everything. This country here, America, and I'm going to break this down in details and teach us. There are 3,600,000 plus square miles of this country. Forgive me. It's 3,900,000 square miles of America. I'm talking about the Lower 49. I'm not talking about Alaska. I'm not talking about Hawaii. Those are states of America. When you look on the map, China looks so impressive, doesn't it? It looks bigger, doesn't it? Doesn't it look? But there is only 3,600,000+ miles of the whole state of China. Russia doesn't have the population like in America. It's all Siberia. Moscow, Petersburg, those are the cities of that nation. It's not a large nation. It's just isolated and ice. But America is much bigger than China. Can I tell you how much land that he says here, what kind of land he's going to give us? Because the Nile is, just figure, you figure the Nile is 2,600 miles. That's from the north all the way to the south. That's how long the Nile River is, nation. Do we understand? And the Euphrates is over 1,700 miles long. And the distance between the Euphrates and the Nile that run all the way to Turkey, come down from northern Turkey, is 2,700 miles. That's how wide it is, the distance between the two rivers. And if you calculate that the square mileage, it's almost 10 million. It's 10 million square miles. You tell me you could not put 4 million people there? How do I know it's 4 million people? How do I know the number is more than this little group of people, 45 million in America, and the few down in the islands of the sea? Can I tell you how I know that? YisraYah'ale, I can tell you. Look quickly to Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 11. This is the exodus out of Mizraim. It's more than what's in America. The great Nile runs down through 9 nations. and the Euphrates to its west. Yah gave doubt to the nation.
Yeah.
Now, that little slither of land we call Egypt is a part of it. That little slither of land we call Israel. But he promised that unto. So we can see that the kings of the land of Canaan, and it names all 7 kings and the nations, and where they are, because this is the land. This is the promise of Yah's nation.
Yeah.
Not that little piece of land that runs down on the border of Palestine. He gave them all of that. I'm a student of things. I don't see that. There is no fruits and veggies that grows like it does in that soil. How do you know? Because I study it. Now, they don't need really no fertilizer. That many acreage with 4 billion people. You got food. They grow grapes that are like apples and oranges. They grow in that part of the world olives, and I love me some olives. There are a few things that I ate the first time I loved them, and that's one of them. When I first ate olives, I loved them. I could eat olives, and I still can. Just olives and rice. I don't need nothing else. That's my meat and everything, my veg and all. But they grow food in a way in that part of the world. The melons, they say, are so sweet. I heard a man say one time, he said, I didn't realize what a fruit was until I visited this part of the world. He said the grapes are not like the grapes you get in America. Yeah, the oranges, they're not like that. The pears, it's just a different world. The sweetness, the juiciness, the palate, how it satisfies. He said it's not like that. So that's the land, and we can see in Yahshua, it identifies the great river Nile and the great river Euphrates. Why? Because this is what, even though you may not think, that spirit of that king that rules in you, it is against the promises of Yah. It is against the promises of Yah. And the promises of Yah are going to bring us, that's why I've been teaching, and I've taught 52 messages just on 2019. Return back. Most people don't understand what I'm saying because they're ignorant. And they're stupid. And they can't comprehend. And that's just a fact. Don't tell me, man, you just come to any kind of light in the last few years. I've been preaching over 40 years. And you think you're going to tell me something? Get out of here. I know your juvenile ways because I've studied them before you ever studied them. And I can tell you going on what someone else says. I can write in ways you will know that it's authentic from my mouth because I speak the same way I write. Let me move on because I want to close out here. Listen, let's go to Devarim 1:11. 1:11, it says, You're the sovereign master of your father. This is him talking unto Moshe, is it not? Yeah. And by many calculation, men, women, children, sons, there were around 4 million people that came out of Mitzrayim. Let's say it was 2 million. Just for the sake of argument, look what Yah says. The sovereign master of your fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob, make you 1,000 times so many more as you are. So 1,000 times 1,000, that's a million. That's a 1 million times 1 million, that's a billion. If you multiply, I learned that in juvenile classes. 1 million times 1 million is a billion. So if you got 1,000 millions, you multiply that by 1,000 millions, you got 1 billion, right? So just say for the sake of argument, there were only 2 billion that came out, all right? He not only said he was going to make him he's going to make him a father of many nations. I'm going to show us that. More than one nation. Many nations. Ishmael, he made him a great nation. He made Ishmael a great nation. Consisting of 12 tribes. 12 tribes. 12 princes. But he said to Abraham, you're going to be the father of many. Raba'ah.
Yes.
multitude, muchness. That's why these little boys like to play with things. They don't bring forth truth. He says of your father, I'm going to make you 1,000 times so many more as you are, and barak you, and he has promised. He said, I'm going to bless you. Let's go back to the 4 million account. So 4 million times, 4 million is 4 billion. That's the only piece of land that can take 4 billion people and supply everything. All the waters, the great Nile, the great Euphrates,
Yes.
the greatest of commerce and merchandise, it can supply everything. That's the only place you can do it. You can't do it in Russia. You can't do it in China. But that's the only place. Because that's the place of promise. And that's why the Spirit in you knows that. You don't know you know, but the Spirit knows it. And that's why I fight so vehemently against the standards and the truth of Almighty Yah. Hallelujah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does it make, oh, it's going to make sense. Let me go to the last part. I'm going to close out today, all right? Let's go to Jubilees. Let's go to Jubilees. Chapter 34. I want to read one verse. Jubilees. Chapter 34, verse 2. Does it tell us and the 7 kings, Jubilees 34, verse 2, it says, and the 7 kings.
Yes.
Does it say that?
Yes.
It says, and the 7 kings of the Amorrhea assembled themselves together against them. To do what? To kill them. Hiding themselves under the tree and to take their cattle as prey. I want to show you this aspect of the Amorrhees. You notice it says hiding. And you have hidden sin and corruption and your damn twisted heart. You don't know how to get free from it. You can't get free from it. And we should hide the word of Yah in our heart. For what reason? That we don't sin. When you go outside of the parameter of the great king, he is the king, isn't he? When we go outside of that parameter, we're guilty of every violent, evil thing there is. We have the word in our hearts. What is his word? We have the love for him above all. We have that loving your neighbor as yourself. That's what we had in our hearts. That's right. You go outside of the parameter of that. What is the nature of the 7 kings? Well, that's part 2. Is that all right?
Yeah.
That's part 2. I didn't even mean to go that far. I meant to go that far, but I didn't mean to. Because there's a great, I didn't realize this. I want to stop there because I want us to be very conscious and cognizant of this in every aspect. And we're going to see the book that Yaakov, what book he wrote in, and what was written in the book. I want someone to teach me like that. I love the way that can teach because they have learned over the years. Go ahead. I don't have no problem with that. The 7 kings. The 7 spirits. It's all in the book. We're going to bring that out with great depth, great understanding, and wisdom. You use the word great. I use that because it's going to be so simple that even Dawid and Zipporah can understand. Make it easy for someone as ignorant as I am. I can understand. I'm going to stop right there. And as Granny would say, we'll pick it up the next time, all right? Part 1. Part 2 is going to open your eyes to the wisdom and understanding as what was laid down. Because, as I said, we began here in Revelation. And there are 7 kings. And there are 7 kings. We're going to deal with that first 5 words first, all right? And there are 7 kings. 5. And then we will deal with the rest, the first 5 books. We're going to deal with the essence of those books. And the witness of those books were about men like Yasha and the writings of Moshe, the Jubilees and all of that. They were written in the works of Shalom, or the book of wisdom, and all of those books. Those books are vital. So am I going to sell out my privilege? I have a great privilege here. I have the privilege to work. I have the privilege to learn how to love one another, to love each other. I have the privilege that God grants me through your love for me, that I can run in the office for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to study. Then when I come in the evening, I can study. And my young ones, when they come on, they'll, Papa, you going to pray? I could be. There are many times I'm sitting there looking at things. This is right here. Papa, you come in the prayer, especially this one, she won't. Yeah, I'm coming now. Okay, let me finish this, and we'll go together. So I'm privileged. I'm privileged that I can work.
Yes, sir. Hallelujah.
I can help.
Hallelujah.
I can plant.
Hallelujah.
But the onions wore me out the other night, man. Huh? I felt the onions, man. Yeah, I'm fussing, the water's not. We got it right down. Lights, not enough lights out here. First thing, my friend. See? That's the privilege we all have.
Hallelujah.
That's the privilege Yah has granted to us.
Hallelujah.
We work.
Hallelujah.
Work with our hands.
Yeah.
What a great blessed man.
Yeah.
Don't be idle.
Hallelujah.
Daughters, don't be idle. Some of you are idle as hell. And you know that's a fact. I say it that way. You can chit chat, talk all damn day long. You shouldn't. You should be a teacher and showing.
Hallelujah.
I don't want to tell this brother to do something. When I built that big, y'all, don't go there and look at that big beam over there. It wasn't easy work. I said I can do it in an hour, but so I said to my friend here, I said, pick this thing up. He said, well, let's go in the middle of this. That's okay. Well, it's not as bad as we thought it was, but it's 600, that's every 600 pounds. It's not 250 pounds. He said, I think that lift can take it out. Let y'all lift it up and that lift's supposed to take a time. That's one reason I bought it. It'll take a time. I'll get up there. It'll take a time. I said, this is what I want to do, build this so we get that up there and I get this built. Because they're already saying to me, Poppy, there's enough stuff over there we can play on, but it's all messed up. We're going to paint this one down here, y'all go down there and play. Put y'all a basketball goal out for the little ones. They can go play basketball. It's going to be a concrete slab in there. Put it up for big boys so they can jump over on that trampoline and go into the ceiling and dunk. I put one there for the young daughters where the boys can have that and they can shoot over here. You understand? And there's going to be plenty of water there. So when they want water, when they want to make cookies, they want to make cake, there's going to be plenty of water there. It's going to be, that's right, there's going to be plenty of water. You don't have to run away and get no water. Sneak get some. Get all the water you want. You can bake cakes, you can bake pies, and I'll taste them for you. You see when they bake cakes and sandpies, I'll taste them. They'll pop, yeah! It's hard to get that kind of grit out of your mouth, man. That's all right. So it'll be plenty of water so she can bake. It'll be plenty that she can cook cakes and cook pies. And I'll give you some of that red sand, that red dirt, and mix it up in there. And you can make a nice, that's right. You can make a nice cake. Nothing like that red clay. Make a nice cake. I don't go where nobody says. That's right. You make cakes. Swing, you can swing it. Go up in the tree house. You got to put a tree house over the neck. That's doing that tree right there. Ain't no hard job. We can do done. That's right. What a blessing.
Hallelujah.
So when I built that big beam over there, that was, then I had to come to the garden after that. Let's get this plastic down right, but we got what we need now. We get down right. So I don't shun no responsibility. So what a great privilege. I don't want to sit around looking at no YouTube and Facebook and all that trash all day. That's stupid.
Hallelujah.
I want to go to the gym and do me some sit-ups and some pull-ups, baby.
Hallelujah.
Or sit around and play around with nothing. Play some little twig. You ain't working on to finish. You ain't working your damn crazy mind. I'd rather do things that are intellectual. I'd rather understand how to do things. I'd rather look at things and read things and get understanding of things. That's what I'd rather do. I have no time to play silly mess. And folks that spend hours doing nothing, just playing some silly mess and talking about nothing. If you talk about anything that's not enhancing you, improving you, you know it's nothing. I want to talk about things that make enhance me. Make me stronger, make me wiser. That's what I don't want to talk about. No foolishness. Who won the basketball? I don't care who won the basketball game. I don't want to know which game you're talking about. But as far as me sitting around trying to watch a game and learn who did that joke, I can't even joke no more. So what? You like basketball? I like basketball. I like it. Love playing it. And if I could go out there and rock it now, I won't be out there. I'm just being honest with you. Can't do it. But I'm not going to be consumed with that. I'm consumed with just that one book. Part 2, we're going to get into the depth of things in a way. And it's so simple, y'all don't clap. Stop at it. Stop it. You get into things so simple that it's going to make you say how simple this is. And how stupid I am. Isaac is a stupid man. Isaac is stupid. I don't mind critiquing me that way. I'm immature. I say silly stuff that's immature. But I say, well, that's so silly. You're immature. You got to be able to critique yourself. Fool. Something wrong with you if you can't critique. If you can get yourself right, as the old folks would say, sweep around your own front door first. Get your nutty ways right. Get your heart right. And then others will see that you're right, then you can help them. But as long as you're fruity and nutty, you can't even help you. How in the depth of Sheol hell you going to help me? You can't help nobody. You can't even help a child. I can help you. Oh. Johnny, Johnny. Yes, Papa. Eat it, sugar. No, Papa. Telling Shaka. No, Papa. Open wa. Ha, ha, ha. I'll let them do that for me. I like it. I tell them the cows and they cut up. And I tell her, don't bring them over to visit you or get them something. They can't just act like they want to. Don't bring them over. That's silly. You got to go to bed. No, they ain't got to go to bed. They won't like it. Y'all get to bed, clean that up. You leave them alone. That's silly. But they don't do it every night. Those girls, when they go out, they don't do that every night. They go during the weekend when they get together. What's wrong with that? They should do it. Your parents ought to be encouraged if they do it. They learn how to bond and fellowship with each other. Crazy, you don't want them to do that. You don't have to check on them. I don't check on them. Leave them alone. See what they do. You don't worry about what you're doing. You don't have to worry about what they're doing. You're not doing all right. So you let them do what they're doing. They're not going to do anything but eat. What do? I said to her, I was saying to them, I said, I'll tell you what you do. I said, I don't care. Not even them, they don't know how to respond to them. They ain't right. I said, when summer comes, you're going to take care of this over here. But any time you can use, I said, my kitchen. You want to cook? You and Hadassah, y'all want to go in there and cook? Tell me what you want. I'll buy it for you. You cook it. This one right here, she gets as happy as Poppy, I said. But you got to work to do. You got to string those peppers and let them dry. Teach them that. I said, now this is going to be over your back watching. Just don't, you're not going to sit there no fire, but you're going to get it clean. You cook anything you want. You tell me what you want, you'll pull that grill out and do burgers, you can do that. You can cook whatever you want. Tell me what you want. She says to me the other day, Poppy, I didn't get the strawberry ice cream, strawberry cakes or something like that. What were those things? Oh, strawberry shortcake, yeah. So I said, okay, then let's go get some strawberry shortcakes. He didn't even know I was doing it. Get for your friend. I heard that Ema, and she liked them too. So I said, get some strawberry shortcakes. So when I came back and told Nani, I bought every box they had. That's what we did. So you get strawberry shortcake. They don't do it every day. Well, I got that ice cream for something. No, you don't have it for first day. I didn't need it now. I need 5 ginger. No, I get 15. You know, 5. I can drink one by myself. It is right, son. I don't know 5 ginger ale. I want to mix it. I want to mix some orange with some ginger ale, and I want to mix some lime with that. I want to mix it. No straight ginger ale. I want to mix it up. What's wrong with that? No, I don't want just butter pecan. I want Napoleon. I want the little cookie kind they like. That's right. Some of you all, you know, some of you all are so wrong. You eat like that. And they don't eat that. They don't eat that much. Damn hypocrite. Oh, they don't eat that. That's enough. How much you give a spoonful? You just ate the whole box. Greedy man. Come on, woman, stop. You got your little stuff here. No! Eat all you want. That's one thing in life, son. I wasn't even eating as much. I'm glad I wasn't, but still. Because she had ice cream and stuff. They had French fries. My mother didn't have no money, but she did that. We didn't have that. So when I got a chance to get French fries, I got me some French fries. That's right. So babies, we gonna get ice cream. They're not going to eat them every day with their teeth. What about your teeth? All right. Mine lasts me until I eat my last spoon of ice cream. How about that? So we got some shortcakes and everybody got shortcakes. Take them over there. Take them to the kitchen now. No, I can't wait for me. That's almost hypocrisy, isn't it? You're going to eat your steak, man. You're telling your wife, no, you all the children eat the sandwich. Homes are like that. This one ate steak and the other ate sandwich. No, eat me some steak. Don't do me like that. I'm not going to eat Angus beef and get you some of that mess that nobody wants. No, I want to eat the same thing. Would you eat the same thing I eat? You got a gallon of ice cream back then, you give them just a spoonful and you suck down the rest. That ain't right. You sucking it down. You got your cookers and all that in your room and twist it up. Even your wife don't know where they are. Your husband don't know where they are. What is that you're rattling on? I know I'm telling the truth. And then the little ones, he is too cooking. He is too. No, you take a whole. When I eat cookies, I want a whole roll of them. Get out of here. You want no 2 or 3 cookies? Give me a whole roll. You got cookies hiding them. You got your starch. You get them too. How many do you want? Just put the bag open. But so, well, they don't need that. Yeah, they're going. While I'm here, they're going to need it. And they don't want it. They don't want it. When they eat enough, that's it. There are folks like that. I know them. So they got their stuff in the stash. Their cookies, their chips, and they pretend they don't eat them. They got them hiding back in the stash, and they get the cheap taste. They go eat their chips. But you know with the come on, no, I didn't have that when I was growing up. But here we're gonna have it. We're gonna have some ice cream. We're gonna make some. We're gonna get some of those icy things and make them and all of that. We're gonna do that. That's a fact. No, we're not. We're gonna have a playground that rivals anyone. How you gonna? Don't worry about it. And then, folks, I'm telling you, I was thinking this once, I said 3 people, they sent that much in 1 year. Wow, they were faithful too. And all of that is gone. Nobody supports us anymore. I'm not going to capitulate and change anything. Nobody supports us. Nobody. No, nobody. Because I'm not going to capitulate and agree with their lives and their father. They don't. I've got those that have been faithful and they have never changed one thing, for many, many years. Those that come on for a couple of years, they get upset with me and they've gotten the revelation. They have the revelation of nothing. I don't care what they say.
Yes.
Your education doesn't give you revelation.
Hallelujah.
I'm a high school dropout and a college dropout. But I was in a position to make more money than men with degrees. And that's a fact. You boast in law. And I quit. I didn't want it. I was going to leave y'all simply because I knew that what Mr. Graham was about to do, that means that then, inshallah, I'll have to leave. We go to California for 3 years. I wasn't about to do that. The sin and the work of God meant more to me than having my own. He got me. And that's all. Bless you all. Be encouraged, nation. Do send your gifts and offerings. Send your tithes. Send them here if you've been blessed today. Bless you all in your children. Let's stand up. I'm tired and I'm hungry, and so let's not sing. Hallelujah. Let us turn toward God. In all things we do out of the excellence.
Yes.
Is that one down? Is that one up right there?
Yes.
You're saying, is that one up?
It's closed.
It's closed? Okay. In all things we do about for your excellent, your great strength. Bless your nation, your people. Look upon us all in your shoes and bless you for your people scattered abroad and those that have joined us. Bless their homes, their children, the wives, the husband. Bless everyone we pray. We pray for your strength and healing power. In Yahshua's mighty name on this Shabbat, this great Shabbat. Yahshua's name, hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Yabarach, you should be encouraged, be strong. Hallelujah.
They that wait upon Yahweh